Hello, Andersons. Sorry I can't make it with you today. Just an appointment with one of my kids. Everything's fine. Just letting you know. Anywho, today we're going to start a clicker game, and hopefully by the end of class today, you'll have something that looks like this. So I made a monkey clicker. If I tap the monkey, my points go up. It makes a little sound. And if you look at the monkey, it does like a little pulse, a burst. So all the code is actually right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what to do, and then I will tell you when to pause this video. And when the video is paused, then you'll do that part. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to start a whole new one. So I'm going to make a new one here. When you get to scratch, right? And you can get to it right on your iPad. Look for Scratch MIT. You probably aren't signed in anymore, so your screen will look like this. You're going to go to sign in up at the top, and these will be out for you. Your username and password is what you have to do. This is going to allow you to save it. So make sure you are signed in. Right now is a good time to pause. All right. So now you are signed in. Your screen should look like this. You'll choose Create. And what you're going to do is you're going to choose what you want to click. So I chose the monkey. I'm going to choose something different for your class. So I'm going to delete the cat, and then I'm going to move my picture over here because it's in the way. No. There we go. Finally. I'll move it up here for right now. To get to a new sprite, we go down here and we choose a sprite. Some of you are very artistic and want to draw your own, and that's fine, but just take a couple of minutes right now to choose a sprite. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to do the donut could be fun. You know what? I'll choose the donut. So I'm going to have the donut as my clicker. So right now, pause, take a few minutes, and go find your sprite that you're going to use to be your clicker. Pause. And we're back, hopefully. I'm going to move this out of the way, down here. And let's start with the way that it looks. So we're going to go to Events, and we're going to say, when this sprite is clicked, let me zoom in so we can see this better. When this sprite is clicked, we want it to get bigger and smaller. So we're going to go to Looks, and we're going to bring out the same thing, change size by 10, change size by 10. But if we do that, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We don't want that to happen. So I'm going to say change size by -10. So now every time I click it, it's going to pulse, but it's not because it's happening so fast that we can't see it. So we need to put a little bit of a wait in there. So in control, we're going to bring out a little wait, 1 second. But if you're really smart, you might think that's going to take a long time. 1 second is actually kind of a long time in a clicker game. So we want to make that smaller. So instead of 1 second, I'm going to try a smaller one, 0.1 second. And now when I click, it goes even faster. But I want it to go even faster. So I'm going to say 0.01. So my whole code is when this sprite is clicked, change size by 10, wait 0.01 or 1/100th of a second, and then change it by -10. And that makes it bigger and smaller really, really fast every time we click it. So copy this code right here, test it out. And it's always a good idea just to hit save now, just in case anything happens. All right, pause, bring out that code. All right, I assume you are back. Let's do the next part. The next part we want to do is we want it to make a sound. So I'm going to bring out another one that says when this sprite is clicked. And then in sounds, there's two play sound until done. We don't want that one because what it'll do is it'll play the sound, but it waits until the sound is finished playing and it can make things go slow. So we're going to choose the start sound. And mine is at a chomp sound. Yours might be different, but when I press it, that's the sound it's making. Maybe you like that sound. But if you don't, over here on this far side, we're going to click on sounds in the corner. And then down here, just like we get a new sprite, you can choose a sound. So in the sound, there's lots of different ones. I wouldn't do one like a loop because the loop is kind of like a longer sound. So if I chose chill, it's kind of glitchy. That's a long sound. We don't want that. I'm going to go to effects. And if you just kind of hold your finger over the play button, you can hear them. I'm going to go with boing. So I'm going to click on boing right here. And then back to my code, instead of chomp sound, now I can change it to boing. So whenever I click, it's going to make that sound. Okay? So pause, go bring out another one sprite is clicked, and start sound boing or start sound whatever you want. All right? Pause and go get your sounds. And hopefully we're back. Remember, it's always a good idea to press save now, just to make sure everything is saved as you work. Last thing we're going to do for today is we're going to add the score over in the corner. And to do that, this is the most complicated one, so make sure you're paying attention. Go down to the left side and it says variables, this big word variables. And we are going to make a variable. So variables, make a variable, and I'm going to call it score. You can call it whatever you want, chomps or bytes or points or coins. I'm going with score. And I press OK. And a little button popped up here that says score. So now we want to say when this sprite is clicked, change my variable by 1. But we have to change this word my variable to, you guessed it, score or whatever you called it. So now when I press the sprite, my score is going up. But here's the problem. It's never going to go down unless I bring out something else. And I have to say, all right, in events, when I click the green flag, that's like my go, and I want my score to be 0. So in events, green flag is clicked. Variables, I'm going to say set my variable to 0, but I have to make sure I change this to score. So now it should be working. Every time I click that donut, it goes up. If I hit the green flag, it goes back to 0. If I click really fast, it counts really fast and it goes back to 0. That's all we have to do today. The next time I see you, we're going to start adding a shop and some upgrades. If you're finished and you want to keep on exploring, if you want to add a background or something like that, you could do that. But make sure before you go, you press that Save Now button right there, and it'll say Project Saved. If you don't have that button right there, you can just move a little piece and hit Save Now. Just make sure everything is saved. Okay? If you're struggling, if you're having any trouble, no problem. I will be able to help you next time. Okay? Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe.